Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Prasar Bharati. Coming up in the next hour. 8 trucks bound to Gaza move from Rafah border. Israeli hostages to be freed before peace summit in Egypt to be chaired by Trump and El-Sisi. Russian air defense units destroy 32 Ukrainian drones in overnight defense operations, while Ukrainian drones target Moscow, Bryansk. China and Philippines trade blame over boat collision in disputed South China Sea. The Philippines says Chinese ship deliberately rams one of its government vessels, while Beijing blames Manila for incident. Forest rangers from 13 countries honored with 2025 International Ranger Awards in Abu Dhabi. India's Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Kirti Vardhan Singh, calls them unsung heroes. And in ICC Women's World Cup, hosts India to face 7-time champions Australia in Visakhapatnam. Updates from West Asia now. Thousands of Gazans streamed north along the coast on Saturday back to their abandoned homes as ceasefire between Israel and Hamas entered into second day. A steady stream of people, the vast majority on foot, crammed onto a coastal road in the central Gaza, heading north to see what might remain of their homes. It was a repeat of emotional scenes from an earlier ceasefire in January. Others headed to different parts of Gaza in the south. US President Donald Trump and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi will chair an international summit to discuss Trump's proposal to end Gaza conflict in Sharm el-Sheikh on Monday. The meeting will involve leaders from more than 20 countries, including French President Macron and UK PM Starmer. Prime Ministers of Italy and Spain will also attend the summit. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has also confirmed his attendance. The Egyptian presidency in a statement said the meeting will aim to end the Gaza conflict, enhance efforts to achieve peace and stability in West Asia, and usher in a new era of regional security and stability. Meanwhile, Hamas said it will begin releasing Israeli hostages before Trump chairs an international summit in Egypt on his peace plan for the region. As part of the deal's first phase, Hamas will free the captives, 20 of whom Israel believes are still alive, in exchange for nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. Meanwhile, 8 trucks bound for Gaza were seen crossing from Egypt's side of the Rafah border, crossing early on Sunday following newly implemented ceasefire agreement. According to the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas, humanitarian aid will be rammed up into Gaza and permitted to travel freely between North and South Gaza on the 2 main roads. Hundreds of trucks per day are expected to surge into Gaza carrying food and medical aid. According to an Israeli security official, the trucks will carry mostly food, medical equipment, shelter equipment, fuel and cooking gas. Equipment needed to fix damaged infrastructure such as water lines, sewage and bakeries will also be allowed in. Meanwhile, hundreds of thousands of people attended a rally in Tel Aviv ahead of the expected release of Israeli hostages by Hamas. Participants expressed hope that it would be the last rally of its kind, as everyone hopes that the hostages will return as provided for in the agreement to end the Gaza conflict, despite the remaining gaps in the following stages of the talks. Addressing the crowds, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff said the hostages are coming home and praised Donald Trump for making a Gaza ceasefire and hostage return deal possible.
We all owe a debt of deep gratitude to President Trump. In the worst of times, in the worst of times, he refused to accept the idea that peace in the Mideast was out of reach. He brought together nations once divided, he brought together nations once divided by generations of conflict and showed us that shared peace is stronger than shared pain. History will remember that when others doubted, President Trump believed.
For 2 years, we are waiting for this day, for this moment. It's very, very exciting us. All of us feel happy for the family, for the hostages. That's finally, we hope, finally we will see all of them earlier as possible. And we think that without the President Trump, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
Wow, it's unbelievable. Like this moment should have been 2 years and a few days ago. Like it never should have happened, but if it happened, we should have released all our hostages, just a normal people like me. I think about my children, my 2 sons, and it's a situation that we had to bring everyone home 2 years ago, but it's better 2 years later than never, and it's such a special moment for us to have everyone home.
U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner visited Gaza on Saturday as post-conflict planning ramped up. Witkoff and Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, who helped negotiate the agreement, were taken on a tour of Gaza by the Israeli military, along with Admiral Brad Cooper, the top U.S. commander in the region. They later stopped at an Israeli military base where preparations were being made to receive the hostages and held talks on the military situation in Gaza with commanders. As part of a ceasefire deal that is bringing an end to 2 years of conflict, Gazans are awaiting a surge of humanitarian aid, and Israel is preparing for a handover of around 20 living hostages held by Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited Sheba Medical Center in Ramat Gan on Saturday. Israeli PM's office in a social media post stated Netanyahu visited the medical facility in order to review preparations for receiving hostages from Gaza after they are returned to Israel on Monday. Netanyahu, along with several top officials, toured the facility and praised the medical teams for their readiness to welcome the hostages and their families. U.S. President Donald Trump is set to arrive in Israel on Monday morning. During his visit, Trump will hold meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. The tightly scheduled visit also includes a private meeting with families of hostages at the Knesset, followed by a public address to Israeli lawmakers. And 3 Qatari diplomats were killed and 2 injured in a car crash on Sunday near the Egyptian town of Sharm el-Sheikh. Diplomats and official delegations had descended on the Red Sea resort town in the recent days to negotiate a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal. Egyptian state-linked media said 5 Qataris and an Egyptian driver were in the vehicle when it crashed due to the loss of control of the steering wheel. The Qatari embassy in Cairo expressed deep sorrow and grief over the 3 diplomats' death. Qatar, alongside fellow mediators Egypt and the United States, has been involved in the months of talks leading to the Gaza ceasefire. Russian air defense units destroyed 32 Ukrainian drones overnight into Sunday over regions including Moscow, Bryansk and Kursk, according to TASS, citing the Russian Defense Ministry. The operation reported this morning involved Pantsir S and S-400 systems with no casualties or significant damage noted. This follows a surge in drone attacks amid escalating tensions with Ukraine targeting Russian oil refineries, prompting retaliatory strikes on Ukrainian energy infrastructure. Ukrainian officials have not commented, but NATO allies, including Poland, have scrambled jets in response. No further incidents have been reported, although analysts warn of intensified aerial warfare as winter nears. U.S. authorities confirmed on Saturday that no survivors were found following a powerful explosion at a munitions factory in rural Tennessee. 16 people remain missing and are presumed deceased, though 2 previously listed as missing were confirmed not to be on site during the explosion. The announcement came as 18 people remained missing and feared dead following the blast at Accurate Energetic Systems, about 100 kilometers west of Nashville. US President Donald Trump has announced that Dan Scavino, his longtime aide, will oversee the selection and appointment of nearly all government positions. This unprecedented delegation covers over 4,000 political roles, including 1,300 Senate-confirmed posts amid a government shutdown. Scavino, who has been appointed White House Deputy Chief of Staff, will work with incoming Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. The White House confirmed preparations, though legal experts question the authority's constitutionality. Critics warn of centralized power, while supporters hail efficiency. There has been no congressional response yet. A crashed helicopter was found against a bridge in Huntington Beach, Southern California on Saturday afternoon, injuring 5 people just before the annual Cars and Copters fundraising event. 5 people, 2 on board and 3 bystanders were injured and taken to hospital. Emergency crews responded quickly, transporting those injured to a local hospital, and officials are investigating the cause to ensure the safety of future events in the area. US President Donald Trump announced Saturday that he has directed the Pentagon to use all available funds to ensure US military personnel are paid by October 15 amid a partial government shutdown. He slammed Democrats for holding national security hostage over budget negotiations. Trump instructed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to shift about $8 billion from other accounts to cover payroll, bypassing Congress. This follows failed talks on funding bills, with essential services continuing, but many federal workers furloughed. No immediate response from the White House press office, but Pentagon officials confirmed preparations to execute the order. Non-essential government work in US stopped after the September 30 deadline for Congress to pass a new funding bill, with Senate Democrats repeatedly blocking a Republican resolution to reopen federal agencies since then. Republicans are proposing an extension of the current budget with the same spending levels, while Democrats are calling for an extension of subsidies for health insurance for low-income households. Several Democratic votes are required to pass a budget despite the Republican majority. But Trump has rejected any negotiations with the opposition on health issues without reopening the federal government as a prerequisite. And still to come on DD India Newshour. Patrick Hermini wins the Seychelles presidential runoff. Flooding disrupted transport on the Spanish island of Ibiza.
Construction isn't just about steel and concrete. It can also be about restoring a hillside or creating homes that can protect both us and our planet.
This wattle and daub technique is called skin and bone of a structure. So here we have used bamboos cut into strips and weaved together as made as a panel. In that cap we fill it with mud and make it as a skin for it.
The trucks would just come by, dump the illegal waste and leave. Then we got some people to help, and our Anand 1 urban forest team came into existence. Together we must have cleared about 30 to 40 tons of garbage out of this place.
One of the reasons for this structure that we have created here is to try and see if we can halt or reduce the rate of erosion. This is like a natural embankment for the forest land.
You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. And opposition leader from United Seychelles, Patrick Hermini, has won the Seychelles presidential runoff, securing 52.7% of votes on Sunday. Hermini won the race against incumbent Wavel Ramkalawan's 47.3% as per Electoral Commission Seychelles official results. The race, following no majority in the September 27 first round, centered on climate vulnerability, rising sea levels, economic pressures and a heroin crisis affecting up to 10% of the 120,000 population. Hermini pledged to slash living costs, bolster public services, combat drug addiction and cancel a controversial 70-year Qatari lease on Assumption Island near Aldabra, UNESCO site, citing sovereignty interference. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended congratulatory wishes to the newly elected Seychelles president. Posting from his official social media account, he said, and I quote, "Heartiest congratulations to Dr. Patrick Herminy on his victory in the presidential elections in Seychelles. The waters of the Indian Ocean are our shared heritage and nourish the aspirations and needs of our people. I am confident that our time-tested and multifaceted relations will deepen and gain further momentum in his tenure as president. My best wishes to him for the tenure ahead." And Cameroonians in the commercial capital Douala began voting on Sunday in a presidential election where incumbent Paul Biya, the world's oldest ruler at 92, is widely expected to maintain his 43-year grip on power despite an energized opposition pushing for change. Biya's opponents include former government spokesperson Issa, who drawn large crowds demanding an end to veteran leaders' long tenure. Issa's bid has drawn endorsements from a platform of some opposition parties and civic groups. However, analysts say that Biya, in power since 1982, is likely to be re-elected given his firm control of state machinery and the fragmented nature of the opposition. Weather updates now. Floods caused by torrential rains have killed at least 41 people in Mexico in recent days and left behind a trail of destruction. Mexico's civil defense authorities reported intense rainfall in 31 of 32 states, causing rivers to overflow, flooding entire villages, triggering landslides and collapsing roads and bridges. The central state of Hidalgo has been among the worst affected areas, with authorities there reporting at least 22 dead, 1,000 homes damaged and 90 communities inaccessible to rescuers. Meanwhile, authorities in areas off the Pacific coast are keeping a close eye on tropical depression Raymond and remnants of Priscilla, which was once a hurricane. Raymond is expected to hit the southern part of Baja California over the weekend, according to the U.S. National Hurricane Center. Major U.S. cities like New York and Boston on Saturday braced for a powerful coastal storm expected to impact millions along the East Coast. The nor'easter storm is expected to bring heavy rainfall and possible flash flooding from the Carolinas to southern New England. Wind gusts could exceed 89 kilometers per hour along coastal areas as the storm reaches peak intensity from Sunday into Monday. Flooding disrupted transport on the Spanish island of Ibiza for the second time in 2 weeks as heavy rain hit the Mediterranean region. The main motorway to the airport was closed, public transport was halted and rainwater seeped into the terminal. Operations were suspended for over an hour with 24 flights cancelled. In Mallorca, 19 flights were cancelled while floodwaters in Ibiza and Formentera left vehicles stranded. Army emergency units were deployed and mass telephone alerts warned residents to avoid unnecessary travel and waterways. Power outages affected hundreds after lightning strikes, with Valencia seeing over 570 storm-related incidents as intense rain continue. China and Philippines traded blame over boat collision in South China Sea on Sunday. The Philippines said a Chinese Coast Guard ship fired its water cannon at a vessel belonging to Manila's Fisheries Bureau on Sunday morning. The incident took place near Tetu Island, part of the Spratly Islands, where Beijing has sought to assert its sovereignty claims for years now. While China's Coast Guard said the incident occurred while after a Philippine vessel entered waters near Sandy Cay, ignored repeated stern warnings from the Chinese side and dangerously approached the Chinese ship. Confrontations between Philippine and Chinese vessels occur frequently in contested waterway, which Beijing claims nearly in its entirety, despite an international ruling that its assertion has no legal basis. China's Ministry of Commerce accused the United States of double standards on Sunday following US President Donald Trump's announcement of an additional 100% tariff on all Chinese imports effective November 1st. The unnamed spokesperson labeled the move a typical example of hypocrisy, arguing it ignores US export controls on critical software while punishing Beijing's rare earth restrictions for national security. China vowed to resolutely safeguard its interests and is not afraid to fight, as per the statement, amid escalating tensions that could raise total US tariffs to 130%. As of October 13, no further US response from the White House. Analysts warn of global supply chain disruptions in EVs and tech. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi stated on Saturday that Tehran would consider a fair and balanced US nuclear proposal if received, but none has been proposed yet. Iran insists on retaining uranium enrichment rights while offering confidence-building measures for its peaceful program. Amid accusations from the US, Europe and Israel of weapon pursuits. This follows a June 2025 12-day war involving US strikes on Iranian nuclear sites and stalled prior talks. Araghchi welcomed the Gaza truce but expressed distrust in Israel, calling for international criminal court trials of its leaders. He dismissed Trump's suggestion of normalizing ties with Israel as wishful thinking.
We have always firmly said that our negotiations are only on nuclear issue, both in past and in the recently, and we have never ever had any negotiations on issue other than nuclear, especially the resistance with the Americans or anyone else. I want to say that proposals that are based on a mechanism and a formula that is fair, balanced and reasonable will be examined in our opinion.
Taliban forces in Afghanistan launched retaliatory strikes against Pakistani border posts on Saturday, accusing Islamabad of sovereignty violating airstrikes on Kabul and southeastern regions on October 9. Heavy clashes erupted in Kunar, Nangarhar, Paktia, Khost and Helmand provinces, involving artillery and drones. The Taliban Defense Ministry declared the operation successful and concluded at midnight, but warned of firm responses to future incursions. Pakistani officials reported repelling unprovoked attacks, destroying several Afghan posts and inflicting dozens of casualties. Multiple soldiers were killed in the firefights, escalating tensions amid mutual accusations over harboring Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan terrorists. Iran urged restraint as TTP claimed separate attacks, killing 23 in northwest Pakistan. Well, the Bangladesh Army has detained 15 officers over allegations of crimes against humanity. This move follows arrest warrants issued by International Crimes Tribunal. 15 Army officers, including 14 still in service, were taken into custody after International Crime Tribunal issued warrants for 30 individuals in 2 separate cases in their alleged role in enforced disappearances and torture. One senior officer remains unaccounted for. The Army says it is committed to justice and awaits the official charge sheet to decide further action. All right, and DD India's Naval Sangh Parmar joins us on the phone line. Hi, Naval Sangh. 15 officers detained over alleged cases of enforced disappearances. What is the entire matter?
Actually, there is a allegation against the senior army officials who were working in the DGFI, Director General Forces Intelligence, and some of them were working with the RAB, Rapid Action Battalion of Bangladesh, okay, which is responsible for counter-terror activities.
Okay.
And there is allegation against these officers that they were involved in the enforced disappearance and the extrajudicial killing during the previous regime. So there is a case against the ICT, International Crime Tribunal, which is in Dhaka, and there are 3 cases, and in these 3 cases around 30 people have been allegedly involved, and against 30 people arrest warrant have been issued. And out of these 30 people, 25 are related to Bangladesh Army, and 15 of them are serving army officers. They are high-ranking officials like brigadier. We have a brigadier and major general kind of post they are holding now. And around 9 are already retired officers, and most of them are not currently in Bangladesh. So these 15 officials have been arrested by the army, and they are now in army's custody, not in the police custody. And army have clarified that whenever the prosecutions ask them to produce against the ICT, they will bring them, and after that they will keep them in their custodies till the prosecution process will be finally completed, and based on that, what will be the outcome of the proceeding, they will follow.
Okay, Naval Sangh, very quickly, I want to ask you 2 things. When we talk about enforced disappearances, does that mean secret kidnapping? And number 2, these officers are expected to appear before the ICT on 22nd of this month. Can you confirm that? What additional information do you have on this? And in the meantime, are they allowed to appeal anywhere?
Actually, the date is 22nd. On 22nd October, they have been asked to produce them in front of the ICT. And regarding the appeal, right now warrant have been issued, and it is not a verdict. Appeal can be done based on the verdict. They can seek for the anticipatory bail or some relaxation in the custodial time.
Okay.
But appeal can be it can be appeal when there is a verdict. There is no verdict. It is just arrest warrant have been issued against them. They can seek judicial relief in terms of anticipatory bail kind of thing. Yes.
All right, Naval Singh, we leave it there. Thank you so much. And let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Vietnam is fast emerging as an international hub for education and training. Many universities have come up with more practical and globally connected programs. Vietnam's Deputy Prime Minister My Van Chinh attended the Guinness World Record recognition ceremony for the lacquer painting on Saturday in Hanoi. The artwork is titled President Ho Chi Minh Reading the Declaration of Independence. The painting measures 2.4 by 7.2 meters and weighs 3 tons. That is crafted on both sides of a single continuous lacquer panel. And Venezuelan people living in Argentina and Colombia gathered on Saturday to pray for the release of political prisoners. Their goal was to ask for their freedom before October 19, the day when Saints Jose Gregorio Hernandez and Carmen Randeles were be canonized. And still to come on DD Newshour. Historic exposition of Buddha's sacred relics from India begins in Russia's Kalmykia Republic on Saturday. An Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi visits Rashtriya Military School in Chail, Himachal Pradesh. And we'll also tell you about Viksit Bharat Buildathon. Stay tuned.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and a quick recap of the headlines. 8 trucks bound to Gaza move from Rafah border. Israeli hostages to be freed before peace summit in Egypt to be chaired by Trump and El-Sisi. China and the Philippines trade blame over boat collision in disputed South China Sea. The Philippines says Chinese ship deliberately rams one of its government vessels, while Beijing blames Manila for incident. Forest rangers from 13 countries honored with 2025 International Ranger Awards in Abu Dhabi. India's Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Kirti Vardhan Singh, calls them unsung heroes. Historic exposition of Buddha's sacred relics from India begins in Russia's Kalmykia Republic on Saturday. The relics from New Delhi's National Museum were transported via Indian Air Force aircraft with the delegation led by Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Prasar Bharati. Organized by India's Ministry of Culture and International Buddhist Confederation, the 8-day event at Gedan Shadap Choikorling Monastery includes blessings, teachings by Sakya Trizin Rinpoche, MOU signing, holy text presentations and exhibitions on Buddhist art and relics history. In a strong push to engage young minds across the nation, Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has issued a clarion call for participation in the Vikasit Bharat Buildathon, scheduled for 13th of October from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. IST. Spearheaded by the Ministry of Education in collaboration with the Atal Innovation Mission and Niti Aayog, this largest ever school hackathon in India aims to strengthen the culture of innovation at the school level by encouraging students to ideate and build prototypes on 4 themes: Atmanirbhar Bharat, Swadeshi, Vocal for Local and Samriddha Bharat. To broaden outreach, Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan shared AI-translated video messages in 10 Indian languages along with English on social media. This tech-driven initiative supports the goals of India's new education policy by promoting Indian languages and inclusive communication. Here's a look at what the Minister of Education said.
Our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji says, Yuva Shakti is the heartbeat of Vikasit Bharat. The heartbeat will echo across the nation on 13th October from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. when young minds from every part of India unite for this Vikasit Bharat Buildathon 2025, a nationwide celebration of creativity, confidence and self-belief. It invites you to explore 4 themes that define our journey: Atmanirbhar Bharat, building self-reliant systems and tools; Swadeshi, fostering indigenous knowledge and innovation; Vocal for Local, promoting local products and crafts; Samriddha Bharat, creating prosperity through sustainable ideas. Through this, we bring alive the spirit of the National Education Policy, learning by doing and building by believing. So I invite students from across the country to be part of this national movement of ideas and innovation.
The Nobel Prize in Economics honors groundbreaking contributions that shape how we understand markets, behavior and policy. Established in 1968 by Sweden's central bank for its 300th anniversary, the award recognizes pioneers in fields ranging from game theory and behavioral economics to poverty elevation and financial stability. Though not part of Alfred Nobel's original will, it stands alongside the other Nobel Prizes as one of the most prestigious honors in the world of ideas. More in this report.
The Nobel Prize in Economics, officially the Sveu Rius Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences, was created in 1968 by Sweden's central bank. Though not part of Alfred Nobel's original will, it's awarded with the other Nobel Prizes and widely recognized as one. The prize honors major advances in economics, spanning theory like game theory, empirical research such as poverty and labor, and impactful policy innovations. The former US Federal Reserve Chair, Ben Bernanke, won the award in 2022 for policy.
From 2006 to 2014, I was involved in a global financial crisis where the problems in the financial sector caused tremendous problems in the real economy, both here and around the world. And this, and thinking about these issues made me very determined to do everything I could, along with my other policymakers, my colleagues, to try to prevent the financial system from melting down.
Though called the Nobel Prize for Economics, many winners weren't economists. Daniel Kahneman, 2002, was a psychologist. Elinor Ostrom, 2009, a political scientist. And John Nash, 1994, a mathematician known for game theory. Joseph Stiglitz, an economist, won the prize in 2001 for extending our understanding of economic measures in society.
Well, GDP was originally created as a measure of market economic activity, but has increasingly become used as a measure of societal well-being. It wasn't designed for that, and it doesn't measure that. And changes in the structure of our economy and our society have made it increasingly poor as an indicator of societal well-being.
Amartya Sen, the only Indian citizen to win the Economics Nobel in 1998, was honored for work on poverty and social choice. Indian-born American Abhijit Banerjee won in 2019 for his experimental approach to fighting global poverty. They joined some of the most influential economists in history to receive the Nobel Prize in Economics: Milton Friedman in 1976, Sir John Hicks 1972, Paul Samuelson 1970, and Robert Solow 1987. Bureau Report, DD India.
The International Union for Conservation of Nature's World Commission on Protected Areas honored 13 rangers from 13 countries with the 2025 International Rangers Awards in Abu Dhabi on Sunday. India's Minister of State for Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Kirtivardan Singh, called them unsung heroes who face dangers from poachers and wild animals every day. The award winners received grants to support conservation efforts in their regions. Singh also released the report Guardians of the Wild, highlighting the sacrifices and challenges faced by these frontline conservation workers. Investment in ocean conservation is growing as the blue economy gains importance in tackling climate change, biodiversity loss and economic challenges. At the International Union for Conservation of Nature World Conservation Congress in Abu Dhabi, global leaders stressed the need for long-term funding to support regenerative marine businesses. Ocean issues, once overlooked, are now central at global forums, driven by new technologies and entrepreneurship. Despite progress, ocean-related sustainable development goals remain underfunded, highlighting the need for science-based policies and business-led solutions. Cynthia Barzuna of World Resources Institute called the ocean a key ally in climate action and talked about ocean conservation.
So we need to scale up investment in the ocean. We also need to understand how to best have conservation practices that are effective. And we also need to understand how to sustainably manage the ocean. Together, these 18 world leaders that make 50% of the world's coastline decided to sustainably manage waters under national jurisdiction through sustainable ocean plans. I really hope that the Indian Ocean is also part of this. The movement has started. The quest is out there from the 100% Alliance, led by Chile and Australia, asking countries to join in this ambition to sustainably manage waters under national jurisdiction.
Australian airline Qantas said data from 5.7 million customers stolen in a major cyber attack this year had been shared online, part of a leak affecting dozens of firms. Many sectors like Disney, Google, IKEA, Toyota, McDonald's and fellow airlines Air France and KLM are also reported to have had data stolen in a cyber attack targeting software firm Salesforce, with the information now being held to ransom. Qantas confirmed in July that hackers had targeted one of its customers' contact centers and breached privacy and secured access to sensitive information such as customer names, email addresses, phone numbers and even birthdays. In defense, the airline has obtained a legal injunction with the Supreme Court of New South Wales to prevent the stolen data being accessed, viewed, released, used, transmitted or published by anyone, including third parties. Madagascar's Prime Minister called for calm and unity on Saturday after some soldiers joined youth protesters in Antananarivo's May 13 square. The protests, inspired by Gen Z-led movements in Kenya and Nepal, began on September 25 over water and electricity shortages, but have since escalated, posing the most serious challenge to President Andry Rajoelina's rule since his re-election in 2023. Madagascar's President Andry Rajoelina said in fact a group attempted illegal and forcible seizure of power a day after some soldiers joined protests that started last month. The elite CAPSAT troops, who helped the Madagascar president seize power in 2009, urged other soldiers to support the youth-led protests. The United Nations says at least 22 people have died and 100 injured since September. The government disputes this, with Andry Rajoelina saying 12 deaths occurred. Rajoelina condemned attempts to destabilize the country and called for unity to defend constitutional order. He encouraged dialogue to end the crisis. And let's take a look at the other stories making news now. India is all set to host the United Nations Troop Contributing Countries or UNTCC Chiefs Conclave from 14th to 16th of October 2025 in New Delhi. Over 30 military chiefs will convene to address evolving peacekeeping challenges, exchange best practices and enhance operational readiness. UN Peace Operations Chief Jean-Pierre Lacroix underscored enduring global commitment to peace. The conclave reflects India's leadership in fostering international cooperation. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi visited Rashtriya Military School in Chail, Himachal Pradesh for its centenary celebrations. He inaugurated the centenary gate and released the special cover and Centennial Chronicle. Addressing cadets and faculty, he praised their discipline and dedication to nation building and interacting with alumni and veterans to honor their contributions to the armed forces. His visit celebrated RMS Chail's century-long legacy of duty, honor and patriotism. Under the PM Janman scheme, 56 families of the Berhor tribe, one of India's most vulnerable communities, have received permanent homes in Donganala, Korba. Once nomadic, they now benefit from stable housing and multiple welfare schemes. Employment assistant Indravati Reddy noted the shift from wandering to settled life, marking a significant step in tribal upliftment and inclusive development. India's Education Ministry has asked all states and union territories to adopt UPIs and other digital payments methods for collecting school admission and exam fees. This move aims to make fee payments easier and more transparent and accessible for parents. It's a part of the government's wider push for a digitally empowered education system under the Viksit Bharat 2047 vision. And still to come on DD India Newshour. Updates from day 3 of the ongoing Delhi Test match between India and West Indies. And Delhi wakes up to a pleasant morning as thousands hit the streets for Vendetta half marathon. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, and Oscar-winning actress Diane Keaton has passed away at the age of 79. Her family confirmed the news, asking for privacy during this difficult time. Keaton, best known for her roles in Annie Hall, The Godfather and Father of the Bride, has died. Her family spokesperson confirmed she passed away in California. Actress known for her unique charm, emotional performances and quirky fashion, was a defining figure in American cinema for over 5 decades. You're watching DD India News. Our time now for sport, and after skittling out West Indies for 248 runs, Shubman Gill has asked the visitors to follow on day 3 of the second India versus West Indies test in New Delhi. The West Indies are still 270 runs short of India's first innings total of 518. West Indies had lost 4 wickets for just 35 runs at the start of the 3rd day of the New Delhi test. Earlier, Gill demonstrated exceptional leadership with an unbeaten 129, marking his 5th century of the year in 8 tests. This came after Yashasvi Jaiswal was dismissed for 175 early in the second day. All right, indeed, India's Abhishek Mahajan joins us live from Delhi. Hi, Abhishek. What can you tell us, as far as the current situation of the match is concerned?
Right, Siddharth. India, they are in commanding position, holding the fort, and it looks like it will be 2-0 in the series whitewash again for the West Indies. And if West Indies, it looks like, and it's likely, if they lose again, it will be 10th consecutive series defeat for West Indies against India. And India, like I said, Siddharth, in a commanding position. Kuldeep Yadav bowled well. You got to give a lot of credit to Kuldeep Yadav. Another 5-wicket haul for him, and there have been talks that he should be the starter. And since Ashwin not part of the team now, he is retired, he should be part of the playing 11, especially when India are playing test in India at the home ground. Not a lot of demons in the wicket. It's low and slow at Arun Jaitley Stadium. But West Indies need to be very patient here. Cricket, test cricket is all about patience, being good temperament. But yes, still 8 wickets to go. West Indies still trail by over 200 runs. They don't need to do anything extra. Wickets are coming. They got to give a lot of credit to Kuldeep Yadav. Like I said, 5th 5-wicket haul for him in 15 test matches. Jasprit Bumrah also bowled well. Ravindra Jadeja too, also he took 3 wickets. In the first innings, Jasprit Bumrah and Kuldeep Yadav, they haven't come on to bowl in this session. But yes, 4 wickets for India in first session, 4 in the second session. They will look like, they'll hope that West Indies are bowled out again. But good decision by Shubman Gill to enforce follow-on in their second innings, in the second consecutive test match against West Indies. Shubman Gill, he has enforced the follow-on. But yes, India in a very good position. It looks like it will be 2-0 soon.
Definitely, you are right. Even I second you that what the situation is right now, it certainly looks like that India, it will be 2-0 by the end of this match. But Abhishek, in your assessment, I want to ask you, what is the actual problem with the West Indies team? What are the areas they need to focus on? Because once upon a time, they were ruling the world in Test cricket. But now, look at their condition. What is the actual problem? What are the areas they need to focus on?
Yes, Siddharth. Gone are the days when West Indies used to be the superpower. When you talk about the era of Clive Lloyd, Vivian Richards, then Desmond Haynes, Richie Richardson, Brian Lara, Carl Hooper. But yes, that was a completely different setup. When I talk about the setup, Siddharth, infrastructure, then the federation, there have been a lot of ups and downs. Disputes between the federations and then the players. The Players Association was also set up. Still, Players Association is there. But elite cricketers, they are still not part of the West Indies 11 West Indies squad, which is strange. They don't want to play for the country. They want to play for the league. If you talk about Sunil Narine, if you talk about, Chandrapal is playing for the current West Indies team, but there have been a lot of players who have Karan Pollard, the name that comes out. Sunil Narine, like I talked about, there were a lot of players who didn't want to feature in the playing 11 of the West Indies team. They didn't want to be in the West Indies squad. But yes, because they were earning a lot of money in league cricket, and there are a lot of leagues that have started. Canada League is there, West Indies League is there, CPL is there, Big Bash League is there, IPL also. And it's strange that they want to play in the IPL. They want to be part of the T20 leagues. They want to play the club cricket, but they don't want to be part of their country team. But yes, we can talk a lot about it. There have been a lot of debates about, but you got to feel for the West Indies players also. Everything comes with the money, everything comes with the security. Roston Chase, who is leading the West Indies in this particular test series, he also talked about that. But yes, there are a lot of players who are not part of the squad, and in the future also, if they don't resolve these issues, a lot of important players, a lot of good players will not be part of the West Indies setup.
I get it. There are some disputes within the federation, and that is why the condition of the team. But let's hope they play more competitive cricket in future. But we leave it there, Abhishek. Thanks. And action in the ICC Women's World Cup 2025 continues to heat up as hosts India take on Australia in Visakhapatnam. Australia women have won toss and opted to field. Led by Harmanpreet Kaur, India will be eager to bounce back after suffering their first loss of the campaign against South Africa. Despite the setback, the women in blue remain in a strong position, sitting third on the points table with 2 wins from 3 matches. Here's more.
Yet another thrilling weekend is here with a lot of cricketing action as the Indian women are all set to take on the mighty Australian side at the ongoing ICC Women's Cricket World Cup. The league stage match will take place at the ACA VDCA Stadium in Visakhapatnam, where Team India recently faced South Africa. In this particular tournament, Team India comes at the back of 2 victories, one against Sri Lanka and the other against Pakistan. However, Team India lost to South Africa in their 3rd league stage encounter. On the other hand, Australia have registered heavy victories against New Zealand and Pakistan and a washout against Sri Lanka. The head-to-head favours the Australians in the ODI format, where Australia won 48 matches out of 59. However, before their World Cup outing, Team India beat Australia in the 2nd ODI at New Chandigarh. Kranti Gaur took crucial wickets in the winning match of the 2nd ODI between India and Australia. Not only this, Smriti Mandhana hit 2 consecutive centuries as well in the recently concluded ODI series against the Aussies.
हम लोग भी एकदम पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट से जा रहे हैं और हम लोगों ने पास्ट में भी उन लोगों के साथ मैचेस खेले हैं और उनको हराया भी है तो मतलब कोशिश यही रहेगी कि हम लोग अपना बेस्ट दें. वी हैव बीन प्लानिंग रियली वेल और सब लोग क्लियर हैं अपने माइंड में और क्या करना है सबको क्लैरिटी है. हमने ऑस्ट्रेलिया का स्टाइल बहुत टाइम से देखा है कि वो एग्रेसिव ही आते हैं, बट ऑन द अदर हैंड हमारे प्लान्स भी बहुत ज़्यादा क्लियर हैं और जो भी हम लोग मीटिंग्स में बात कर रहे हैं, हम लोगों ने डिस्कशंस की हैं, कुछ प्लानिंग्स करी हैं एंड लेट्स होप कि हम लोग पॉजिटिव स्टार्ट दें.
Talking about the pitch report, this is the same surface where India faced South Africa. The pitch surface at the ACA VDCA Stadium in Visakhapatnam is expected to be flat and dry, with conditions getting better for batting as the game progresses. The match becomes even more crucial because India from here needs to win at least 3 matches for strong chances to secure a semis spot.
Team India is now all set to play its 4th encounter of the ongoing ICC Women's Cricket World Cup in the league stage group match. And here, as we know, that Australia is the 7-time World Cup winner, but Team India is also no less. In the recently concluded ODI series, Team India recorded the historic victory against the Aussies, beating them by 102 runs in New Chandigarh. Now, that was the same series in which Smriti Mandhana also hit 2 consecutive centuries and Kranti Gaur took very crucial wickets. Now, let's see how Team Australia is going to perform against Team India at the ACA VDCA International Cricket Stadium, where Team DD India is currently present, and we'll get you all the latest and live reports from here. With camera person Ashish, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from Vizag.
And DD India's Deepika Mehto joins us live from Visakhapatnam. Hi Deepika, Australia won the toss and opted to field, and I can see some fans behind you. What are they saying? How are they feeling? We'll come back to you a little later. But let's first understand, let's first know what the fans are thinking right now. Can you talk to them? Deepika, are you getting my voice?
Yes, yes, Siddharth, we are getting your audio, and the stadium stands sold out for today's India versus Australia. Very crucial encounter which is taking place. Australia won the toss and they decided to bowl first, and this was the decision that the captain also spoke in yesterday's pre-match press conference. There is one change that Australia have made. Sophie Molino has come into action. However, Team India remains unchanged. We've got very many fans with us. Bharat Army is here. They travel to every country, every state to support Team India. Looking at the conditions today, Australia have decided to bowl first. What are the chances of Team India and what are your expectations from Team India?
Today, India won the match. Yeah? Smriti Mandhana scored century today.
It's 100%. India will.
India will win. And which player are you looking forward to?
Smriti Mandhana.
Why?
She scores 100 today.
She will score 100 today. You're very optimistic. What do you have to say about team's performance today? What are your expectations?
I want Richard to fire again.
Richa Ghosh?
To fire again.
All Right. So there you heard, Siddharth,
Yes.
that players are having high expectations from Smriti Mandhana because she hit 2 consecutive centuries in the bilateral, recently concluded bilateral series against ODI. However, the performance is yet awaited, that sort of performance is awaited from Smriti Mandhana in the ongoing Cricket World Cup. But today the fans are having huge expectations from Smriti Mandhana.
Definitely, Deepika, these are some morale-boosting statements by the Bharat Army. Deepika, can you tell us a bit about how the wicket is?
If we talk about the pitch conditions here, the pitch is flat and dry, which means that it is going to favor the batters, and the batters are having a very good opportunity to score somewhere around 210. If that is the case, and if Team India's top order performs today, the game can go in Team India's favor, because that is the requirement, what favors for Team India to make it to the semi-final straight away. And if we talk about the wicket later in the day, because it is humid as well, there will be a due sort of a situation, because that was a situation that India witnessed against South Africa as well. So remains to be seen how Team India is going to perform. Right now the national anthem is going on.
Definitely. Deepika, quick cheer from the fans.
Can we have a quick loud and cheer for Team India?
India, Team India today win the match.
Come on. Actually, we're...
जीतेगा, जीतेगा, India जीतेगा.
Thank you so much. So there you heard, the fans are really excited and they want to rush into the stadium.
Okay.
Siddharth.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Deepika. The country's national capital woke up to the spirit of fitness today. The 20th edition of the Delhi Half Marathon kicked off from the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. Thousands of runners, including elite athletes and amateurs, took to the streets of Delhi. The route passed through iconic landmarks like India Gate and Major Dhyan Chand Stadium. With cheers, energy and determination all around, Delhi truly ran together for a cause. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.